folks. Welcome to the Tuesday, March 15th Open Council meeting. Mayor McFarland is in Washington, D.C. attending to city business, so I will fill in for her tonight. Please take the roll call.
Davis.
Here.
Went.
Here.
Ritten.
Here.
Bartz.
Here.
Licht.
Here.
Wagner.
Here.
Schmidt.
Here.
Wetzel.
Here.
Romline.
Here.
And please join me in a pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Next order of business, minutes from the council meeting held March 1st. Any questions or comments on those minutes? Okay, seeing none. Next, comments and suggestions from the citizens present. I believe we have one from Mr. Berg. Come on up.
Good evening, council members and council president Rudin and people on the staff for City of Watertown. I'm coming here to make comments, hopefully, and asking that you be receptive to the message. And it has to do with topics that relate to the American Rescue Fund and how these dollars have been made available to the City of Watertown. And I know that they've also been made available to literally every municipality, every governing body, unit, entity in the United States through President Biden's $1.9 trillion rescue plan, relief plan from COVID. But it had a component in there for municipalities and other units of government to help them through with this type of a virus that we've all gone through, which has been nothing short of, devastating and awful. That said, I just want to point out that I actually did become aware of, actually a month ago, with our Watertown School District, because I found out that they received $7.1 million. And what they did as a governing body is they had a listening session in January, and people came and made comment, and from that they've also had additional opportunities for people to make comment and give input on how those dollars could and should be used. And that's a good example, I would say, to look at and mimic, if you can, where you can. Watertown's dollar amount that I am aware of you got is $2,457,000, which is no small dollar. I was on your council for 18 years doing your job, just like you, making the effort, and I never, ever got anything, we never got anything close to that for a payment from government to help us as an unexpected type of revenue source that we could use in ways that had a fair amount of discretion, which I'm aware of you have on these funds. So I'm just making, I actually, you have a very good economic development person in Alex Allen, and I think the world of him as an employee. But he did talk with me on the topic, and from that, he sent me an email. I hadn't seen it in any paper. I sent that to the Daily Times, and it did lead to, within a few days, it led to an article on the front page. And it told the story for everybody to be aware of, just like each of you are aware, so that they can have at least the same insight and awareness of those dollars and what you should or potentially could do with them. And so it really sort of raises the issue of those dollars and what maybe are the options. Again, I looked at what the school, I got an email from David Vitale, he's I think Director of Instruction, and he was telling me they got 563 employees, and with those dollars, they've got different ideas in mind, and he showed me an itemization of it and what they had done so far. Again, from the email I got from Alex, it showed what Finance Committee had come up with as far as some ideas and where you thought they could go and should go. So my case to you is to open this up to the public before you've already spent some dollars, whatever those dollars are, that's a non-issue. But the dollars that are still remaining, and I saw even in your identified list that you still had $662,000 of undesignated or allocated funds. I know about the projects you've suggested in Finance Committee, the idea of extending utilities on your infrastructure west of Farm and Fleet is an expensive project. I mean, you've got it in there for an idea of $745,000. I'm not saying that's a bad idea. I like the idea. I'm not sure, again, in the scheme of things, when you look critically at those dollars, if it's the highest and best use, but I'm here to say I'm more than willing to say that's probably a good decision. But I'm not convinced, because I think, again, what you need to do is, this is a very unusual opportunity you have on these dollars. And they're dollars that you've already got budgets right now that were approved, and those dollars are going wherever they were put into based on the budget. But these $2.45 million of funds you have a decent amount of discretion. Some of them I have already seen through the article in the paper and what I've read through, again, the email I got, that there's suggested ideas for where they could and should go. And there's a strong case for each of those examples. So I'm saying there's merit on a lot of what you've done. But I don't think, as good elected officials, as people who are, in the end, you're the ones that represent us on the council. And in representative government, it's always good to get input from people before you make big decisions. And these dollars are unique dollars that you should try to look critically at. Where is the best, highest, and the use that you think would be going to have the best bang for the buck? And I would tell you that, if you get the input, which I'm suggesting through a survey, through meetings, and through additional comment and input from people, you'll get some varied suggestions beyond what you've already got. I was chairman of Public Works for 5 years. I was, again, on here a long time. I would tell you, on a stack of Bibles, if you quizzed people about streets in Watertown, they would tell you that it's a very, very high priority and it needs attention. And I'm telling you that with these dollars, I think you need to allocate a decent number of dollars and then recalculate where you got your suggested ideas and reprioritize after you've done some more discussion and getting input from people. But as one person that actually did chair that committee, we had a technique called a maintenance method of repair. And a maintenance method, it was a very good way to spend dollars, and it was a way to address a street that needed attention, and it would be good for, usually 10 years or more. And I got examples where we did it. We did it on South 8th Street from Western Avenue to Market Street. That was a bad street one way, but it was full of potholes. We put it in, and we took care of that problem, and that's 10 years ago. I mean, it doesn't look good really right now, but it has enough life left in it for a few more years until you can hopefully find dollars somewhere to make that, again, an area of targeting. East Main Street, over by the middle school, that was a high priority. Again, and we identified that for a maintenance method. And what you do is you mill off 2 inches and you put down 2 to 3 inches. And by doing that, you put a fresh coat of paint on, but it's good for some time, and you make that street a good street for some time. We did Dewey Avenue, which was awful, and it still is probably not good, but we've had probably 10 years of life under because of what we did. And that maintenance method went all the way from Main Street to Division Street, and that fixed the problem that needed to be fixed. And we didn't have the dollars to do the reconstruction, which I know is more expensive, where you tear up the sidewalks, you probably tear up the curb, and you deal with the infrastructure underneath. Those are expensive projects, and you got to have dollars for that. What I would encourage you to do is look at this method of maintenance method, along with a lot more seal coating, crack filling, and I think patching. That method is one that you are doing, and we've been doing on the city for the last 10 years in a more aggressive way. When I first got on the council, we used to put $50,000 to $75,000 into that method, but that was not smart. We needed to do a lot more, and we caught on to the method of doing seal coating and crack filling and patching, and these streets that we did now are good for 5 to 6 or maybe more years. And they made those streets where they look good. They don't just drive okay, but they actually look good. And we need to be into appearance, because people are looking at this town and they're trying to figure out, do I want to live here? Do I want to work here? Is this a place for me for the future? And I'm reminding you, because you know that in the last sentence, we didn't go up, we went down in population. So that means we need to recalculate and rethink, what are the things that are going to give us some momentum as a city? And for me, it's dealing with curb appeal a little more. I'm in real estate for a living. I bring people into this town that are investors and people that are entrepreneurs and people that want to spend money and commit to this town. But I have to give them a good look. And and the buildings that I take care of, we try to make that a priority. But I can't fix the streets and I can't fix the things that are outside of my area of responsibility. That's your job to make that a priority. And by doing that, you're making my job easier, which is going to bring people in for doing business, is going to bring people in for hopefully buying and for living here, which is again going to create momentum, which is what we all want in this town. And I've lived here all my life. My intention is to continue to suggest ideas and help where I can. I've been off. You got a good man there, Chris. He took my job when I couldn't be on, and he's doing a nice job in my absence. So that's what government's all about. It's bringing good people in and having them serve, doing their duties in a way that can actually make people proud of the town they live in. And I'm proud to be a Watertown person, but I'd have more pride if I thought some of the things that are important were looked at more critically. And I'm suggesting to you that with these dollars, you need to rethink and discuss and then include more people than just the 9 of you. And then you got good staff people, let them give your input. And people like Peter and everybody else, you got good staff in a lot of areas that can give you advice. But it isn't always everything you need to hear. It's the public through some form, whether it's coming to meetings like this or going into some type of a format where they give you a chance to give their opinion. That's where you get a diverse view. That's where you find out whether your thinking is along the lines of their thinking. I was on the school board 12 years too, and there was a guy named Walter Kubley, and he was unbeatable. He was on there 26 years. He said, I never worry about elections, Ken, because I got my ear to the ground. I know what's going on with the people in town. I don't need to worry about elections because I'll get reelected because I'm doing my job. And that's what I'm trying to get across to you, that the more you have your ear to the ground, the more you're going to have an awareness of what the real issues are that are important. And I'm telling you, for me, streets are a big deal. And they aren't given the attention, and you're getting a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to spend some extra dollars to make that less of an issue than it is today. And you can do it by rethinking before you spend those dollars. And I'm thinking that's really pretty much the comments I was hoping to make. But I come in here with a little bit of a script thinking I might hit on certain points, and then I usually do hit on 80% of it, and I think I have. But I think I hit on the streets. I told you about the maintenance method. I told you about the unique opportunity, and I've emphasized that input from people. We have 120 miles in this town of street. That's a lot of street. And we're falling farther behind every year because of our inability to really do what we should. And this is a chance to catch up a little bit by using a portion of these dollars. And I would use them on the maintenance method, and I would use them on more seal coating, and then I would leave the dollars you put into your budget every year for the more expensive projects of resurfacing and reconstruction. Make that the area of emphasis with your city dollars, and use these dollars where you can get the most bang for your buck by going the route I'm suggesting. But I'm just one person. You get other people into this equation, they might have additional thoughts. But while you have good ideas, I think it may not be the best combination of uses. And you won't know that until you get more input from people. So I'm saying thank you for listening.
Thank you, Ken.
I did see tonight in the paper, I think, that there's $100,000 that might be needed for fixing the bridge. And again, those are the things you got to figure out. If there's no other way to fix it, and if you have to spend $100,000, then maybe it comes out of these dollars. I'm not sure. Again, I'm just suggesting it might be another area of cost. But if it does, it has to bump something else that's a lesser priority. And on the other hand, I would look at that project of that repair and decide if that is absolutely the best and the required type of repair that needs to be made. Because sometimes you get an opinion, and if you get a second or third, you find out that there is another option that's available. I'm all done, but I just remembered one more thing, and it has to do with Main Street. And I'm going to tell you that I'm bothered by the fact that I heard through Alex, who again I think is good quality. He said there was a discussion at the committee level on finance, and they talked about Main Street, doing it because I had, as one of the people in this town, other people I'm sure have suggested, I made a case for doing something with Main Street. And someone, I don't know who it was, came in with a proposal of $500,000 to do a section of Main Street. That is bizarre. That is so far-fetched as far as a repair. Whoever came in with that idea had some motive to make that idea not feasible, because there's remedies to address Main Street for the next. When we put the money in the budget 3.5 years ago, if you would have done what we suggested back then, you would have got 8 or 9 years of use out of that money. But you didn't do it 3.5 years ago when the money was in the budget from us. So now you got to find dollars again. But I'm telling you that between seal coating and patching, there's got to be some remedy that is cost effective that can make Main Street area at least tolerable for the next 4 years. Because even if they fix the street, they fix the bridge, you're hoping for the 2027 to get the streets redone. That's 5 years from now. And people that want to look at this town in the next 5 years do not want to look like they're walking in or driving through a war zone. And each year it's going to get worse until you fix it. So I would encourage, again, with your allocation of dollars, there's a remedy. And if somebody tells you it's $200,000, tell them, give me something cheaper until you come up with a solution that improves it for a lesser cost. Yeah. Thank you for listening.
Thanks, Ken. Not seeing any other members of the public here or online, we will move on. There's no public hearing tonight, and so we'll go to reports. We got Public Works from March 8th, Airport Commission from March 9th, Plan Commission from February 28th, Transit Commission from March 8th, Finance Committee from March 7th, Historic Preservation February 16th, Housing Authority January 20th, Library Board January 31st, Licensing Board March 9th, Redevelopment Authority February 16th, Site Plan Review Committee February 28th, Senior Center Advisory Board February 16th, Tourism Commission March 10th, and Youth Advisory Committee November 17th of last year. Are there any comments or questions on any of those reports?
I have a question. My question comes from the meetings from the Planning Commission, and really I just want to know more about the process. It looks like about 3 property owners are in the beginning stages of conversations about possibly being planned unit developments. And I'm wondering if those conversations continue, does the city and the property owner come to some sort of agreement and offer a formal proposal that then gets approved by the Planning Commission and the council? Is that how it works?
I'm going to defer to Jacob. He's our planning guru.
So generally, we do the plan unit developments based off the fact that it's in the best interest of the city and the property owner to get to where they want. The plan unit development is kind of a way to kind of create your own zoning. The issue often is they run into the comprehensive plan, which states you got to have a certain land use, future land use, and if they can't accommodate that, we would have to amend the comprehensive plan, and that's not in the best interest of the city because it allows different zoning then to occur in the future. So we're working with these property owners to resolve these issues of, usually they're substandard lots, or in some cases they were rezoned a use stop for 365 days, and now they want to continue that use, but it can't conform to the new zoning code. So the best way to address that is through the plan unit development. It is up to a 4-step process. The precise implementation plan is optional. Unlike a conditional use permit, which just gets plan commission approval, the plan unit development has to go through common council, and you can make conditions on that plan unit development when it comes before you, as can the Plan Commission. Whereas with a conditional use permit, you can't add extra conditions onto a conditional use permit because State Act 67 in 2017 prohibits us from making conditions that aren't conducive with the regulations in the code. So if you want to, you can regulate business hours and stuff like that, but it's tougher to regulate smaller things that you might think might be a nuisance, but it's not written in the code.
Okay. That's super helpful. So if these continue, we'll see other information about them going through other meetings and things like that, right?
Correct. Yes, there'll be public hearings as well as, and the public hearings go through the Common Council as well for planning and developments, whereas conditional use permits go solely through the Planning Commission. So you'll have the public hearings here. We send a letter out to the 200 properties around the property that's being, going through the planning and development process, and it gives them opportunity to come to Common Council to voice any of their concerns. And then again, it comes here to the ordinance for the planning and development comes before this body for approval.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Any other comments or questions about the reports? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on. There is no old business. Communications and recommendations, just one. Their next scheduled Common Council meeting is moved up a day to Monday, April 4th, due to the election on Tuesday, April 5th. That's all I got for communications. There are no new business, so we will move to accounts payable.
Mr. Mayor, I move we pay all accounts payable.
Motion by Romline. There's a second. Second by Alder Wetzel. Any questions on any of the accounts payable? All right, Megan?
Romline,
Aye.
Davis,
Hi.
Went,
Aye.
Ritten,
Aye.
Bartz,
Aye.
Licht,
Aye.
Wagner,
Aye.
Schmidt,
Aye.
Wetzel.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Next on the agenda, miscellaneous business. We have the payroll summary from February 9th through February 22nd. Any questions or comments on the payroll summary? Seeing none, we'll move on. Next up is licenses. First one is the application for a Class B malt and liquor license. Powers Inn LLC, doing business as Elias Inn. We have a motion for.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Alder Wendt,
Second.
second by Alder Bartz. Any questions on that one?
I have a question.
Yes.
I didn't see in the meeting notes, I understand that the Class B is for sale on and off the premises. Is there an event or a reason why the license is requesting this license?
I'll defer to someone on the committee.
Licensing board, it's a change of ownership.
Change of ownership. Okay.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, we can do a voice vote on that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I vote aye as well. Okay, thank you. Number 2 on licenses, application for a Class A liquor license, Pine Hill Sustainable Farm LLC, Jackie Phillips, agent, 118 North Water Street. Is there a motion on that one?
I would move to approve the application.
Motion by Alder Bartz,
Second.
second by Alder Wendt. Any questions on that one? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I vote aye as well. Okay, that's all we got for licenses. Next up, ordinances. We have one ordinance 22-52 to amend Chapter 532 floodplain and shoreland wetland zoning through the removal of and addition of language to Section 532-18C and 532-20C. This is from Mayor McFarland and the Plan Committee on its second reading.
Make a motion for 2252.
Motion by Alder Licht,
Second, Romline.
second by Romline. Any questions on this ordinance? Okay, seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I vote aye as well. Okay, next up, resolutions.
I would do a roll call on that one. So this is an ordinance. Did I write voice?
I'm sorry. Let's take a roll call on that, my mistake.
Okay, that's okay.
Go ahead, Megan.
Licht,
Aye.
Wagner,
Aye.
Schmidt,
Abstain.
Wetzel,
Aye.
Romline,
Aye.
Davis,
Aye.
Went,
Aye.
Written,
Aye.
Bartz,
Aye.
Okay, it's all for ordinances, now resolutions. First resolution, Exhibit 9354, resolution to create a part-time administrative assistant 1 position for the administration department and add position to the 2022 payroll resolution. This is from Mayor McFarland and the Finance Committee.
I'll move to approve Exhibit 9354.
Motion by Wagner,
I'll second.
second by Davis. Any questions on this one?
Where's the funding coming for an additional person?
Mayor McFarland gave me a couple of notes on this one. I believe we did budget for this in the fall. This was part of a recommendation from then Clerk Treasurer Alyssa about her suggestions for how to restaff the administration team. So I believe we budgeted for that. Help me out, yeah, parts. Yeah, that sounds right. This is going to be a part-time position. It's going to assist with scheduling, processing invoices, printing and prepping meeting materials, and greeting guests and preparing meeting rooms. So this was a budget expense.
Okay.
Any other questions on this one? Okay, Megan, please take the roll.
Wagner,
Aye.
Schmidt,
No.
Wetzel,
Aye.
Rumline,
Aye.
Davis,
Aye.
Went,
Aye.
Written,
Aye.
Bartz,
Aye.
Licht.
Aye.
Motion passed 8-1.
Okay, next resolution, Exhibit 9355, resolution to create a Health Department Equity Reserve Account, 01321132, and move $10,000 as of December 31st, 2021, from Health Department grant account number 01427315. This is from Mayor McFarland and the Finance Committee, and I am going to unmute Carol.
Mr. Mayor, I'll move for 95, or 9355.
Thank you. A motion by Romline,
Second.
second by Bartz. Carol, would you mind speaking to this a little bit?
Yes, I can. So we did receive $10,000 in 2021 designated for car seats. It is a program that we've had at the health department for a number of years, getting funding from a variety of different sources. And we did not spend that money out in 2021. And it was not included in the carryover resolution going into 2022 budget. So working with the city treasurer, the solution that's presented in this resolution was the suggestion to make sure that that funding was available to purchase car seats for our community members.
Anyone have any questions about this or any questions for Carol?
So why does it have to have its own brand-new fund to carry it over? Because that just smells like slush fund. I don't know, it doesn't sound like that's the intent, but that's what I get the feel for when I read it. So if it's earmarked for car seats, isn't there a way to then have it earmarked for car seats instead of creating a separate fund that doesn't appear to mark for car seats?
Eric, I'm going to have our treasurer expert answer that.
If this were all taken care of in one fiscal year, you are correct. But because the fiscal year is over, a reserve fund is the appropriate accounting terminology that needs to set the money aside, taking it out of an income account and putting it into an equity account.
Can we, in doing that, are we able then to lock that fund so it can only be used for distribution for the sake of car seats and nothing else?
That's exactly what is being done when you put it in a reserve account. You
Okay,
cannot spend it on anything else.
okay, that's just, a little clearer would be good, because I see slush fund from government accounting for carryover funds, and I don't get a warm fuzzy, but if it's legally going to be statutory that you can't touch that one just for car seats, and the equity that goes back into further car seats to allow for even more car seats for the community, then I'm okay with that.
Yep, that is by the nature of what a reserve fund is,
Okay,
designated for that purpose only.
okay.
All right, perfect, thank you. Any other questions? Okay, Megan, take the roll.
Rumline,
Aye.
Davis,
Aye.
Went,
Aye.
Ritten,
Aye.
Bartz,
Aye.
Licht,
Aye.
Wagner,
Aye.
Schmid,
Aye.
Wetzel.
Aye.
Motion passed 9-0.
All right, next resolution, Exhibit 9356, resolution to enter into the Humane Society, Watertown Humane Society 2022 Service Agreement. This is here from Mayor McFarland and the Finance Committee.
I'll move to approve Exhibit 9356.
Okay, motion by Wagner,
Second.
second by Alder Davis. Any questions on this one?
Where's the agreement? I don't see it in my packet.
Here's a copy.
It's on the table.
I didn't get one, that's fine.
It's on the table.
Right here.
Here, take a minute.
So is this just an update from one we've had in the past, I'm assuming, like we do with other agreements for municipalities?
Yeah, we've had agreement with the Humane Society every year since I've been on council, and this is just re-upping that same agreement.
Okay.
Yes, Attorney.
Just to clarify, there is one change in this contract as opposed to the prior contracts. In the prior contracts, the Humane Society has been required to maintain the pet cemetery in the city. They have opted to no longer maintain that pet cemetery, and so they have removed that requirement from the service agreement. With that requirement, they do have to return the pet cemetery parcel to the city, and that will be arranged once this contract is finalized, but that will be them signing a deed over to the city to transfer that property.
So then we would be responsible for the maintenance of that property?
We obtain the property, we don't necessarily have to maintain it as a pet cemetery, but that would be a determination as to what the city decides to do with that property going forward.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
And they sent out notice to them as well.
Okay.
All the property, or those that own property.
Okay.
Alder Schmidt, need some more time, or you?
No, I'm good.
All right, any other questions on this one? All right, Megan, take the roll.
Wagner,
Aye.
Schmid,
Aye.
Wetzel,
Aye.
Rumline,
Aye.
Davis,
Aye.
Went,
Aye.
Ritten,
Aye.
Bartz,
Aye.
Licht.
Aye.
Motion passed 9-0.
Next resolution, Exhibit 9357, resolution to update employee handbook regarding non-exempt hourly vacation calculation for current and future employees. This is here from Mayor McFarland and the Finance Committee, and I'm going to unmute. Caller 2, is that you, Lisa? All right, try it now.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, Lisa.
Yes, I'm Lisa Schwartz, Human Resources Office. Thank you.
All right, can you speak to this, please?
So we're looking to update our handbook to be more competitive with the current market and allow new employees that are coming in to use some of their past experience to perhaps apply that toward vacation time when they come in. Individuals that come from past water departments, past street departments are starting at 0 when they come to the city of Watertown. And in order to do that, we also want to allow our current employees a one-time option to also apply whatever past experience they may have had through an evaluation process, so that if they do have experiences directly related to their department, they, with their supervisor, can have that time credited toward their vacation time now as well. We did have some feedback from the Finance Committee about the timeline that these individuals would have to bring that information to their supervisors, and we have added that as October 1st.
so that we can go ahead and make sure the evaluation is appropriate and accurate and get that information over to payroll for an effective January 1 date.
Thank you, Lisa. Does anyone have any questions for this?
I'll move to approve Exhibit 9357.
Motion by Wagner,
Second.
second by Bartz. Any questions?
Just an observation. This sounds relatively subjective. There are already programs that we could have used as a template for this when it comes to using past experience into a federal system. Just like for people who are in active duty, they get active duty to go to a federal system, like IT in a federal prison system. They can buy that time in and add it to their seniority and their vacation, those kind of things for the retirement points. But there's a commitment to the individual on an equal level. This doesn't have that in there. It doesn't have the buy-in function where it puts, some skin in the game for them. And it basically allows them to get experience points for retirement vacation for seniority starting at day one in a brand new position. If we would have used a better format, I'd be okay with it, but as it's presented, I'm not okay with it. Because that's a huge cost burden that's unfunded, potentially, depending on how much has occurred through this method.
I'll just speak to that just a little bit, what we talked about at committee level. This idea came up, it was going to be just a tool to help recruitment and to bring talent to the city, and not bringing someone in with 10, 15 years of experience from another municipality. We wanted them to have some sort of vacation built up instead of years. That was the intent that we discussed at committee. I don't know if anyone else has anything to add
Yeah.
to that.
Yeah, I can add to it as well. So basically, we are doing this currently with salaried individuals as well.
Just negotiate with police and fire too.
Yeah, police and fire. It's based on years of service. So, as to Alderperson Ritten is saying, somebody that comes in and they have 15 years of mechanical experience and they come to the streets department, we want to be competitive and be able to give them vacation versus, sorry, you have 15 years experience, but now you got to come in at the 1 to 2 year service agreement amount. And so then they're also doing they have the option of bringing in documentation and that being verified before it's just handed over to them. And everything it's going to have its checks and balances. Lisa is very good at making sure that everything lines up and that we're being fair and equitable across the board as far as what's relative to the job.
And I can see the intent and I can see the reasoning behind it. But we as the government, we can make these decisions. You go to a private company, that's not how it works, unless you're union. And then you still have to buy your time in. So I see the intent, especially if you're moving from municipality to municipality, but as presented, it needs work before I would sign off on it.
Another issue that comes into play here, we recently had a presentation down in Maranatha, and the whole concept, the whole thrust of that presentation was the fact that recruiting right now is very different than it was a few years ago, because the baby boomers have all grown up, the people aren't there. People are not out looking for jobs right now, jobs are looking for people. There's been a 180-degree shift in the way marketing for people works. And this is an attempt to provide a marketing tool that we need to be competitive with other cities that are doing this thing.
And I would add that this is done at private companies to remain competitive because it is hard to come into a new job and lose all your vacation time.
Right. I do it at my private company.
My concern is this model exists out there in a position where you can come into a company and you can buy, especially in the government level, but you have to buy that time in. You don't just, here you go. And that's what this is. It's unfunded and it's us going, here, bring all your stuff and we're just going to pay you for it. And there's no fiscal commitment to the individual. There's no skin in the game for them to buy it and just walk in. Because we don't know if they're coming in they may have 10 years in the job, but that doesn't equate to 10 years experience. And we don't have their full track record of why they're leaving or why they're moving. Again, I'm just leery, this comes across as a blank check just to give people money. I get it, it's a recruiting tool, and I understand the intent, but as it's presented, it needs improvement before I'd vote for it.
Anybody else? I have a motion on the floor for approval in a second.
Call the question.
This gets a voice vote. All in favor of the resolution as presented, please say aye.
Aye.
I vote aye as well. Any opposed?
No.
No.
Should we do it?
Take,
Wagner,
Aye.
Schmidt,
No.
Wetzel,
Aye.
Romline,
Aye.
Davis,
Aye.
Went,
No.
Ritten,
aye.
Bartz,
Aye.
Licht,
Aye.
motion passed, 7-2.
All right, next resolution, Exhibit 9358, resolution to authorize submittal of the 2021 MS4 permit annual report. This is from Alder Wetzel and the Public Works Commission.
I'll motion for 58.
Motion by Wetzel,
Second.
second by Romline. Anyone have any questions on this one, or like a short synopsis? We have our stormwater expert.
Standard bookkeeping with the DNR making us do permitting.
I believe so. Maureen, would you mind saying a couple words?
Hi, I apologize, I didn't hear that last comment.
Standard DNR making us do permitting to do what we want in our city, essentially, that we have to do every year, more or less.
It is an annual permit. It's a report that we do every year. It's a 5-year MS4 permit. We've had it since 2006, and it'll be ongoing for the future.
Okay, so this is, you said it's a 5 year, so once we do it this year, then we won't have to do it for another 5 years?
No, it's a 5-year permit. It's an annual report.
Okay.
So we do report annually. What you saw this year is probably standard for what will be happening next year and the year after that as well.
Okay,
So,
so it's a bookkeeping thing.
yeah, tracking, documentation.
Okay.
Anyone else have any questions on this one? Okay, we can take a voice vote on this one. All in favor of this resolution, please say aye.
Aye.
I vote aye as well. Any opposed? Thank you. Thanks, Maureen. Next resolution, Exhibit 9359, resolution to award 2022 pavement marking contract number 1-22 to Century Fence Company for $58,702.60. This is here from Alder Wetzel and the Public Works Commission.
I'll move for 9359.
Motion by Wetzel,
Second.
second by Bartz. Anyone have any questions on this one? Okay, Megan, please call the roll.
Wetzel,
Aye.
Romline,
Aye.
Davis,
Aye.
Went,
Aye.
Ritten,
Aye.
Bartz,
Aye.
Licht,
Aye.
Wagner,
Aye.
Schmidt,
Aye.
motion passed 9-0.
Next resolution, Exhibit 9360, resolution to award 2022 seal coating contract number 3-22 to Scott Construction Incorporated for $72,137.45. This is here from Alder Wetzel and Public Works Commission.
I move to approve.
Motion by Bartz, second by Licht. Anyone have any questions on this one?
I'm assuming the zeros are in there because they didn't provide a bid. From barn or asphalt too.
Assistant Engineer Byer will speak.
The product that we use for chip sealing is called boiler slag. It's a product that one of our contractors can get. The other contractor did not provide a bid for it. We provided an alternate option for using a granite chip, which was higher than the boiler slag.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions on this one? Megan, call the roll, please.
Bartz,
Aye.
Licht,
Aye.
Wagner,
Aye.
Schmidt,
Aye.
Wetzel,
Aye.
Romline,
Aye.
Davis,
Aye.
Went,
Aye.
Ritten,
Aye.
motion passed 9-0.
Next resolution, Exhibit 9361, resolution to award 2022 sidewalk curb and gutter contract number 4-22 to Renhack Construction Company Incorporated for $192,473.60. This is here from Alder Wetzel and the Public Works Commission.
So moved.
Motion by Wetzel. Second by Romline. Any questions on this one?
We only got one bid.
Yes.
That's sad.
I believe this company's been doing the sidewalk and curb contract for quite a few years. Andrew?
That's correct. They've done satisfactory work for us for a number of years. We did look at the bids received, and they were competitive with previous years.
Okay. I'm just curious why we're not getting bids from anywhere else. I mean, not discrediting their work at all, but when it comes from a competition standpoint for finances, if there's no competition, there's not a lot of room to adjust prices. That's just a question that doesn't get an answer, unfortunately.
With this particular contract, we typically do only get 1 or 2 bids per year, probably closer to 1 every year. Last year was kind of an outlier. We got 4 bids, but this year we were back to 1 bid, unfortunately.
Okay.
Any other questions? Hey, Megan, please call the roll.
Wetzel?
Aye.
Rumline?
Aye.
Davis?
Aye.
Went?
Aye.
Ritten?
Aye.
Bartz?
Aye.
Lick?
Aye.
Wagner?
Aye.
Schmidt?
Aye.
Motion passed 9-0.
Next resolution, Exhibit 9362, resolution to approve change order number 1 to 2022 sidewalk curb and gutter contract 4-22, reducing contract amount by $54,402.98. This is here from Alder Wetzel and Public Works Commission.
I'll move 9362.
Motion by Romline, second by Bartz. He beat you to it. I'm going to have Andrew come up here and just speak to this one. Just, I know people are asking, we just approved that, now they're lowering it. So go ahead and please explain why.
The bids received were over the budget amount for the 2022 annual street program, so the purpose of this change order is to reduce the scope of the contractor's work to bring it within our budget.
You might as well stay up there and probably ask the same thing. Any other questions on this one? Okay, we'll take the roll on this, Megan.
Rumline?
Aye.
Davis?
Aye.
Went?
Aye.
Ritten?
Aye.
Bartz?
Aye.
Lick?
Aye.
Wagner?
Aye.
Schmidt?
Aye.
Wetzel?
Aye.
Motion passed 9-0.
Next exhibit, Exhibit 9363, resolution to award 2022 bituminous surfacing contract number 5-22 to Wolf Paving Company for $1,301,757.50. This is here from Alder Wetzel and Public Works Commission.
So moved.
Motion by Wetzel. Second by Bartz. Any questions on this one?
So if we're taking money out of those other 3 accounts listed, do they have the room in those accounts in case we need it for those areas of responsibility from those other accounting? Because stormwater always comes up later in the season where we always seem to be short for unforeseen weather issues.
Have Andrew speak to that?
The 3 utility accounts referenced are generally for patchwork or restoration work over utility trenches.
So they have an earmarked purpose already.
Correct.
Okay.
Any other questions on this one? Hey, Megan, please take the roll.
Wetzel?
Aye.
Rumline?
Aye.
Davis?
Aye.
Went?
Aye.
Ritten?
Aye.
Bartz?
Aye.
Licht?
Aye.
Wagner?
Aye.
Schmidt?
Aye.
Motion passed 9-0.
Okay, next resolution, Exhibit 9364, resolution to approve change order number 1 to 2022 bituminous surfacing contract number 5-22, reducing the contract amount by $308,171.86. This is here from Alder Wetzel and Public Works. Motion by Bartz, second by Licht. And this is a similar deal to the previous change order for bituminous surfacing. Initial bids came in over budget, and we just scaled the work back, correct?
That's correct. We bid 3 streets, 2 different ways. One was a full-depth resurfacing, and the second was an alternate bid to do a 2-inch mill and overlay. To keep within our budget constraints, we were opting for the 2-inch mill and overlay, and we're also proposing to remove the resurfacing of the street department parking lot from this year's contract to keep within the budget.
So on the streets that we have, we're just doing that to, basically, it sounds like a scrape and a redo. Are we confident that the utilities that are below there are going to last another 10 years or whatever the life expectancy with this new surfacing are?
Where main breaks are a risk with every street, we believe that, and Pete, you can jump in if I'm wrong. We believe that we can get 10 years out of the utilities beneath these streets, yes.
I'm not that confident.
Well, that's why I'm asking, because some of the streets that we've done that with, you can see cuts going back in, or we're having to go back and do it again. In the areas that we've gone through and just ripped the whole thing up and dug up all the utilities, those seem to look nicer and last longer. And I know we have a lot of old piping below the ground. And with the way we've had temperatures and upheavals, you can see some of the streets where you're getting sinkholes that are starting on some of the older streets that we haven't done for a while. And they're getting huge gaps. And you got patches of tar work that are, 8 different colors. So I'm not a fan of just the scraping and redo it. I know it looks good and it's got nice curb appeal, but if we have to go back in 3 or 4 years, we just shot ourselves in the foot and tripled our cost. So I would rather do less mileage of road and do it right and rip everything up that's old underneath there and eat it now than eat it 3 or 4 years down the road where it's going to cost us even more money. That's why I'm not a fan of the scrape and repaint, unless we're confident the stuff below that section is new enough that it will last.
You were aware that our biggest concern on the list of streets that are surfacing. We're going to do a exploratory acoustic sounding of the pipe
Okay?
before they put the surface back on. This is a free demo I'm getting for us. We hope that I can find some of these cracks that have started, and then we can maybe make some repairs before we do the resurfacing on the road. It's 1945 pipe on a road that has a lot of grade change, 30 feet from the bottom to the top. And the pipe is generally in good condition, however, we're having radial cracks. 14 breaks on Winter Street, 5 on the 1 block at Hewart. All radial cracks, so it's just a round crack, where the pipe is shifting from the freeze and thaw. The bedding on the pipe from the repairs we've made isn't the greatest, and that's not surprising for the pipe put in the ground in 1945. So there are some large rocks that are probably starting to move up in the ground during freeze and thaw that are starting to hit the bottom of the pipes. So that seems to be where the breaks are happening. So I don't know about this technology. It's new. It's like an acoustic scanner.
So is it as similar to like a GPR, but better?
I'm sorry?
Ground penetrating radar. It has a limited depth, so is this more of a deeper perspective, or is it something you drop in somewhere at an access point and then run an ultrasound like you would in water to check for cracks?
I have a company coming in to do this for us for free.
Okay,
So we'll see what the results are.
okay.
We do have leak detection equipment, and we put it out there, and we don't have any leaks currently. But if a crack happens, it happens.
Right.
So, now's the time of the year when we see them in the fall as well. Of course, main break can happen anytime. Due to pressure and the velocities of the pipe and the finish.
So does this option allow us, in the event they detect a crack that we need to replace, to instead of just scrape it, then we can just do it right and rip everything up and fix it?
We would either do a point repair or reassess and not do it this year, pending the results of that survey.
We'll see what the results are. I'm not sold on this technology. This is the first time
Okay.
I've come across it. So it's just something that came kind of late in the game here, actually through a request to Jane Ellen, who forwarded it to me, and I was suspect. I said, you want to give a free demo? Why don't you do Hewart and Warner Street?
Okay.
And he said, we will. And I read his email, and it says, address all your needs during the demo.
So I'd be,
And my needs, I told them was, I want you to preemptively find my radio cracks. Can you do that? And you tell me right now, with your demo, where I'm gonna have a break, so we can dig down and fix it before we do road.
okay. I'd like to see their response to, and this will be for later, their response to how this compares to ground penetrating radar in regards to detecting foreign objects. So I'd like to see how it compares to that in regards to how accurate it is for crack detecting and weak point detection.
Well, right now, this is free. Ground
Well, like free,
penetrating
so,
radar, I don't have
yeah.
that software and equipment to do
Right.
that, and I'm not sure I can find a free demo for that.
Probably not.
So that is something to look into.
Okay. I like free, so,
We have some advanced leak detection equipment, but it's not ground penetrating.
okay.
So it's,
Okay.
Can you give us a call when he comes out and maybe invite us out there?
Could you speak a little louder?
Could you give us a call or let us know when he's going to come out and do that? So maybe we can come out and watch it? I know I'd be interested in doing that.
It's going to be in April.
Okay.
So we have a meeting in April, a virtual meeting, and then we're going to move on.
I'd like to watch that.
Okay. Make sure to communicate that. But as Andrew said, we do have some concerns with the
Okay.
We did want to replace some water main there. We didn't have the plans to do that. We had to look at that and give us a timeline to complete that. And although it was doable, if we could afford to do it, that didn't happen.
So on that, is this one that's in front of us now, is this addressing the cost so that if we have to, we can replace it, or is this just a scrape and repaint effectively?
This is a 2-inch mill and overlay. So mill off 2 inches, put back 2.
So even if we discover something, we have to come back and readjust everything from there?
If we discover something, we would postpone the project until a later date and reassess.
And then just relocate that cost to like a different street that we could do that with, that's not going to have those issues?
Yeah,
Potentially?
we'd likely seek a change order for another street, correct?
We have options in case we have to have them? Okay.
Yes, yep.
Okay, any other questions on this one? Okay, Megan, please take the roll.
Bartz.
Aye.
Licht.
Aye.
Wagner.
Aye.
Schmidt.
Aye.
Wetzel.
Aye.
Romline.
Aye.
Davis.
Aye.
Went.
Aye.
Written.
Aye.
Motion passed 9-0.
Next resolution, Exhibit 9365, resolution to award 2022 sanitary sewer and water main contract number 6-22 to Forest Landscaping and Construction Incorporated for $511,550. This is here from Alder Wetzel and Public Works.
So moved.
Motion by Wetzel,
Second.
second by Alder Wendt. Any questions on this one? Hey, Megan.
Wetzel.
Aye.
Romline.
Aye.
Davis.
Aye.
Went.
Aye.
Written.
Aye.
Bartz.
Aye.
Licht.
Aye.
Wagner.
Aye.
Schmidt.
Aye.
Motion passed 9-0.
Next resolution, Exhibit 9366, resolution to award 2022 CIPP lining project contract number 7-22 to Visu Sewer for $229,185.45. This is here from Alder Wetzel and Public Works.
I'll move to approve.
Motion by Bartz,
Second.
second by Licht. Any questions on this one? Hey, Megan.
Bartz.
Aye.
Licht.
Aye.
Wagner.
Aye.
Schmidt.
Aye.
Wetzel.
Aye.
Romline.
Aye.
Davis.
Aye.
Went.
Aye.
Written.
Aye.
Motion passed 9-0.
Next resolution, Exhibit 9367, resolution to award 2022 storm sewer cleaning and televising project contract number 8-22 to Northern Pipe Incorporated for $28,936.80. This is here from Alder Wetzel and Public Works.
I'll move for 9367.
Motion by Wetzel,
Second.
second by Romline. Any questions on this one?
Sewers and television contract?
It's great. Great.
Just curious in the combination there.
It's better than Hallmark.
Great show. Sewer televising. Andrew, go ahead and speak to this, please.
Over time, our sewers fill up with leaves and debris, and they no longer pass the amount of waters they were designed to pass. So the idea here is to jet it, to televise, to make sure the pipes are in good condition and clean working order.
So televised means what in this context?
They put a camera through the pipe, and they'll send us a video file showing if there's any cracks or if there's any concerns we should have with the pipe's condition.
Okay. See, that makes sense when it comes to stormwater and television. I was trying to figure out where the television came into this play, so, okay, that explains it. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
I've had one of those. It's not fun. Thank you.
Any other questions on this one? All right, Megan, please call the roll.
Wetzel,
Aye.
Brumling,
Aye.
Davis,
Aye.
Went,
Aye.
Ritten,
Aye.
Bart,
Aye.
Lick,
Aye.
Wagner,
Aye.
Schmid.
Aye.
Motion passed 9-0.
Next resolution, Exhibit 9368, resolution to approve ARPA policy checklist and requisition form. This is here from Mayor McFarland and the Finance Committee.
I'll move for 9368.
Motion by Alder Licht. Second by Alder Davis. Thank you. Any questions or discussion on this one?
So this is just establishing something on paper and how the money can potentially, in theory, be used. It doesn't actually use any of it.
Correct. In committee, we tried to strategically talk about what we wanted to use this money for, and the process of how to go about doing it. Like any government money, there's accounting and stuff like that, so we had our city team go through and see what we could use it for, and then there's accounting backflips we have to do to keep track of all this stuff. Some communities don't have the capability to do that, so they just blow it all in one project and they're done, but we don't want to do that, so we took the time and came up with this policy checklist, and we strategized a little bit, but nothing, no, we did use a couple of ARPA dollars to buy a thing for the fire department
And the AV equipment for here.
right.
So essentially, it's stuff that we can account for to the penny, so when the audits start coming for this money, we're not trying to scramble figuring out. We can say, here's where it is, this is what it was spent on, and this is where it complies with where it came from the funding stream, so we're not getting
Yep,
dinged for that.
we got to prove how it complies or not, and keeping track of all the
And then
pennies.
we
Absolutely.
also, yes, and we also wanted to make sure that it aligned with the strategic plan for the city as well.
I'm less concerned about that than the accountability purpose, so we're not getting gigged for using it for an unapproved usage.
Right. No, Alex, we tasked Alex with that. He worked really hard and did a nice job to set that up.
Okay.
Any other questions on this? Okay, it looks like I can take a voice vote on this one. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I vote aye as well. Any opposed? The last resolution, Exhibit 9369, resolution to the 2022 City of Watertown General Fund Budget. This is here from Mayor McFarland and the Finance Committee.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you, Alder Went. There's a
I will
second.
second.
Alder Wagner, second. Any questions or discussion on this one?
Reason for the change other than we'd switch attorneys after the budget was approved? Is it an experiential thing in regards to the salaries you mentioned earlier?
So, yeah, so we got rid of, what was the city attorney?
Stevens.
Attorney, you can speak to it, you know exactly what it is. Mess it up.
Last year, the council budgeted for the hiring of a part-time city attorney and put aside $71,000 approximately in salary for that attorney. We haven't hired a part-time city attorney as of today. As of Friday, there'll be about $15,043 in savings from having not hired that part-time city attorney. And so we're asking that get reallocated to supplies and expenses for the city attorney's office. There is some practice management software that will allow us to better track and manage our files for both the municipal court, but as well as contracts for the city and other projects that we work on for the city. And so we want to get that practice management software set up. There is some training that increases that from what was previously used for the practice management software for the city. But my understanding is that that practice management software took 6 months to get installed on the laptops and computers for the city because there were questions about how that company was operating. And then there wasn't any training to follow up with how to use that program. So when I started here, there hadn't been any implementation of the former software.
So this is to replace the stuff that no one knows how to actually use, it sounds like, with something that our staff will be properly trained and educated, and we're going to get good, sounds like, in theory, correct me, are we getting a good tenure on the software? Are we getting good IT support? Are we going to get customer service in regard to continuing education or patch updates or those kind of things with this?
Yep. The new software allows for up to in-person training on it.
Okay.
Initially, it's going to be, I think, 24 hours of training. So I think they budgeted for it.
How many accounts do we get with this, user accounts?
There will be 2 user accounts initially. There is a potential that we'll have to add on a 3rd user account. That will increase the cost between $800 to $1,200, depending on how much training we get for the 3rd user. They generally recommend 2 hours of training, which is about $400. So it just depends on what we end up doing with that 3rd user's account.
And then what's the tenure on the software before we have to look at patch upgrades or upgrading to the newest version? How long will it last before we have to replace it or update it? Did they give us a timeline on that?
They give us updates as they make them.
Oh, so it's included in our contract? Okay, that's helpful.
Any other questions on this one? Okay, I can take a voice vote on this one. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Vote aye as well. Any opposed? Okay, last time for comments and suggestions from citizens present.
A brief comment this time from Kenberg, 1201 Richards Avenue, but I appreciated the time watching you guys and doing your duties, and I appreciate what you do, again, as a job that's important in our town. I heard comments from Alderperson Schmid about streets a little bit. I just want to give a reminder that we have a system of PACER, and PACER is a way of grading every street in our town. And again, if we have 120 miles, every street has some type of a number based on how our people have looked at them. And based on that number, they qualify for a certain type of repair. And again, the mill and overlay, like Andrew was referencing, is for a street of a certain condition. And the same thing applies to your type of seal coating and patching and crack filling. That typically, again, is of a certain quality. But average quality, which we have a lot of street, would qualify for that milling and overlay. And patching and doing that type of a seal coating would qualify for an awful lot of our street. We have a lot of bad street, which we need to find dollars for it, which are very expensive through the reconstruction and resurfacing. But where we have dollars to try to get the most, we should just ideally look at where we can that milling and overlay is an effective way with a dollar to get as much as you can from it. And I just to make sure, we got a lot of new people on this council, and they're all here for the right reason, but I would I'm sure maybe engineering or other people within our city staff can help you get that method of evaluating and grading our streets, and that might help you in looking at what we have in Watertown. Thank you.
Thank you. No one online, no other citizens here, so I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by
second.
Wagner.
I'll second.
I got Romline, second. All those in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
Aye.
You're adjourned.
He just wanted to use it.
He did want to use the camera.
That's what he likes being up there. He